Thank you for holding this important hearing today, and thank you to the witnesses for being here. As a member of this committee and then also on the House Armed Services Committee, I'm excited to have you here today to discuss the important role critical minerals play in our national security interests and our overall economy in this country. The state of Minnesota is home to a large majority of our nation's domestic critical mineral reserves, including nickel, cobalt, platinum, and copper. And after hearing Congressman Stauber's comments, I used to think his roads were paved in gold, but I guess they're going to be paved in nickel here now soon, up in northern Minnesota. Those Minnesota-grown companies have been unable to renew their federal leases due to both the Obama and Biden administrations pulling the rug out from underneath them and putting up roadblocks. So with that being said, Mr. Kaye, the United States has the strictest environmental and labor standards in the world. Yet we have become reliant on China and other adversarial nations to control a large majority of the world's global supply chain. In your experience, what environmental and labor standards do these countries have in place for their operations?
They are very supportive of their homegrown industries. And China, particularly, has been extremely robust in making it easy for it to happen. I believe that now it's an all-hands-on-deck approach for this. It's regulatory. It's, as my colleagues have said, support for the offtake agreements. We are in discussions with multiple companies, both in the defense industry and the automotive industry, for supply, even if it takes 3, 4, 5 years to come on stream. So what we would need is, as everyone has said, we need support so that China cannot manipulate the price. We need fast tracking to permit. Even Mountain Pass is partially owned by the Chinese. Even some of their concentrate is shipped to China to be processed. That can't be good. So it's, I believe, public-private partnerships. I believe it's regulatory relief. You know, as one of my colleagues said, unchain us and let American entrepreneurship, let us do what we know how to do. And it's always now with an environmental concern, because the environment is sensitive, but the pendulum has switched too far to that side. It can't take 29 years.
So, Mr. Kaye, just as a follow-up, just to be very clear, so our strictest in the world environmental standards, our state-of-the-art, best that can be labor standards in this country, China isn't competing at that same level, correct?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so to my colleagues here, I mean, I guess the question we have to ask ourselves, are we content putting our head in the sand and pretending that they're playing by the same rules? And the answer is no, and so it is incumbent upon us and our government to do better in this area. I would like to move on to Mr. Dowd. My constituents would rather rely on our neighbors in northern Minnesota, heck, even Nebraska, to extract and refine these minerals for our domestic supply chain. We trust our neighbors. We can have a healthy discussion about environmental standards, labor standards, and then we can, through our government and through our policy and through our process, make sure those standards are met. And we can do that face-to-face, neighbor to neighbor. Given your experience operating and innovating in this space, what are the biggest challenges preventing American companies right now from leading the world in critical mineral development? And a lot of times we in this committee, you know, people will come and say, well, it's the regulations, or it's this, or it's that. If you were to leave here today and say, I got this off my chest, here's the 4 or 5 things that this committee and this Congress can help us do, what is it?
Yeah, thank you, sir. You know, it's as I said earlier, China 35 years ago said that rare earths are to China what oil is to the Middle East, and that's before this electrified world we live in today. We're literally in the infancy of this industry. It was referenced perhaps a Rockefeller moment where this is oil 100 years ago. I think that's absolutely to be true. China controls this industry, one, because they made it a deliberate policy, but two, the Chinese government subsidizes the industry. So there's no ability for this country to be able to compete on level ground if not our government is not also part of that equation.
My time is up here. I would just say this. We are ripe for critical minerals permitting reform 2.0 in our country. Let's reimagine the next 50 years and not try to fix broken
Gentleman's time
policies
is
of the
up.
last 100. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. I